You'd think making $1 million in 90 days means that you've made it, but I almost lost everything right after. The reason? 3 marketing mistakes that sounded great on paper, but nearly destroyed the business. So in this video, I'll walk you through each one, exactly how they played out, and what I do differently now so that you don't have to waste your time and money learning the hard way. I've scaled a 7-figure business, helped operators build systems without fluff, and seen behind the scenes of companies doing $1 million a month. But none of these stopped me from nearly screwing everything up with these mistakes. And I want to tell you these mistakes to save you the time and money that it took me in order to scale and grow a business. So mistake number 1 is scaling before you're ready. So many people online will tell you to just create a random offer, run a ton of ads to it, and you'll make money. And I've dumped thousands and thousands of dollars into paid ads thinking I had an offer that could scale. And sales came in. I made money. But fulfillment, it was a disaster. Refunds, complaints, chargebacks, broken processes. We scaled, but we scaled into chaos. And the truth is, making sales is easy. Making money is easy, but keeping customers happy, that's the hard part. And if your delivery system isn't locked in, then scaling just multiplies the chaos. And I really want you to think about that. We did the exact same thing and scaled rapidly. Did $1 million in 90 days, but the business was a disaster. Chargebacks and fulfillments took more of our time than actually enjoying the money we made. And by spending all that money on chargebacks and dealing with all the complaints, we ended up making less money than we thought. So the lesson, before you try to scale, stress test your offer manually. Fix the leaks while things are small. That's the key, because when volume hits, systems break, people bail, and you bleed trust. And if your business doesn't have trust, then you're not going to have a business for the long term. You can make a couple grand, you can make some money doing it, but it's not going to stay around for the long term. And that's what you want as a business operator. So the tactical apply is run a low volume cohort. Talk to your friends, give them the product for free, have them test it, and go through your entire process and give you honest feedback. And focus on these feedback loops, not just funnels. Too many people start putting together 30-step funnels before they even stress test their offer. So you have to go through feedback loops. The faster you can go through feedback loops, the better your product and process is going to be. And don't buy traffic until you're confident that your backend can keep the traffic. Because if you just spend a ton of money on traffic, you get a lot of sales, you'll deal with what I had to deal with, which was a chargeback almost every single day, refunds, bad reviews, and it tanks your company. So that's mistake number 1. Mistake number 2, confusing attention with authority. And I made this mistake more than once because I was confident that it would work, but I want you to share with you what actually happens. So I dropped over 5 figures hiring influencers who had massive audiences. And I thought their audiences were all tailored to what I was selling at the time. And I thought, if they just promote it, it'll sell out. If they make a couple posts, millions of people are going to see it and they're all going to want to buy. But reality check, we didn't get a single conversion. Spent 5 figures for almost zero return on investment. That is terrible because their audience wasn't there to buy. What we learned is that these big influencers, their audience isn't there to buy. They're there for memes and pranks and vlogs, entertainment. The entertainment doesn't equal trust with buying intent. Because at the end of the day, if an influencer had an audience that would buy something, they wouldn't be chasing after brand deals. They would sell a product to their audience. So you have to learn it that way because I've already made that mistake. And I didn't just make this mistake once or twice. I made it about 4 times because I was so confident that audience equals conversions, but it absolutely does not. So the lesson, just because someone has a big audience doesn't mean that they have buying authority. Influencers isn't transferable. And if there's no alignment, you have to make sure that the influencer, if you go down that route, has direct alignment with your product, your brand, and you can't expect a massive return on investment. It may be good to get your awareness out there, get some more eyeballs on the product, but don't think that if you just hire an influencer, that's enough to sell your product and brand. So the tactics to apply is focus on a value-aligned creator, even if they're smaller. Sometimes, and usually the best, is targeting people that have a micro channel. anywhere from 10 to maybe 50,000 followers, because at that point, they're still growing. So when they're growing, if you can weave in your offer and your product into their growth, then they start attracting actual buyers, and you have an influencer for the long run because you supported them when they were small. Or better, become the authority yourself. And this is something that took me a long time to do. Even this YouTube channel, if you're watching this, I think we have like 20 some subscribers. I've never done social media. I've never grown my brands that way, but I've been able to do 7-8 figures without social media. So I never saw the need. And the only reason I'm doing this now is because I'm already filming all these videos for clients or for all my team for training. So I thought, why not? Why not post and save people some time? So you're never going to get a course that I'm going to sell or some mastermind, but use education, document, open people's eyes, and use frameworks to build and layer in trust instead of just borrowing hype. So that's mistake number 2. Mistake number 3. This one is absolutely crucial, especially if you're a startup company. So the mistake number 3 is spreading too thin too fast. So I tried to do it all before. I tried email marketing, SMS, social media, Instagram, PR, YouTube, paid ads. I spent money on 10 different channels hoping that one of them would pop. I was busy, but I wasn't building anything sustainable. Every channel was underfed and under-optimized. Nothing worked because everything only got 10% of my effort. So the lesson that I learned is when I launch something, when I build a product, I pick one channel, one strategy. I go all in until it's self-sustaining and then generate enough profit to expand. Just like I said in mistake number 2, I never had to do social media because I focused so hard on certain channels that it would grow my business to 7-8 figures without me even making a post. Now that I've built that and I've had the infrastructure and my company's self-sustaining, I can go and branch off and do content. But most people think that content's just an immediate sell. Well, it's definitely not. And I've been doing this only a couple months, right? I'm no social media influencer. I'm not a guru that's going to teach you about social media. But what I've learned is that it's definitely not instant. It's the long term. So build your infrastructure first, have money coming in consistently without you doing something, and then branch off into other channels. So the tactics to apply is ask, if I had to grow this business using one channel for 90 days, what would I choose? Most of the time, it's something that you're already used to. Now, if you're a big-time content creator, that may be your growth strategy. For me, that wasn't me. I was a systems guy. I was an ads guy. I was an SEO guy. So when I launched my business, I focused on SEO. And I did that for 90 days and got traction. Then we had traffic going to the website. Then I branched out and did email marketing and SMS marketing. I built a newsletter. I built PR. I built blogs, but it started with one channel for a long period of time. So build a simple, repeatable system before adding complexity. Volume without focus leads to burnout. So focused execution builds leverage. And that's what you need to do. Because there's that famous quote, you only fall as low as your systems. So if you have top tier systems, your business is going to be more sustainable in the long run. So make sure to think through these 3 mistakes before you start a business, or maybe you already own a business and you're thinking about doing these marketing. Make sure to really contemplate if it makes sense for you. Don't scale too fast. Grow slow. I know it's harder, but patience is a virtue. So build slow. Build your systems, get feedback to build the best product. Don't go dump money just because someone has an audience. Make sure that the audience can actually convert first. And number 3 is pick one channel and do it for a long period of time until it's self-sustaining. And when I say self-sustaining, I mean making money without you putting in 15 hours a day. If you can put 1 hour a day into a channel and it makes you money, then you can start branching out to other channels. But make sure that you focus on these things. Like I said, these 3 mistakes cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars, way too long in time, probably about a year of just headaches and missed business opportunities. But if you focus on eliminating these first, I promise you it's going to save you so much time and so much effort in the long run. So if you liked this, if you got insights, comment what you thought down below, hit the subscribe and bell notification, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.